just be nice. Show her how much you care. Put her on a pedestal. That's what they told you, right? Meanwhile, the guy she can't stop thinking about, he's not chasing, he's not begging, he's not drooling over her. And the more distant he becomes, the more she spirals into obsession. Why? Because women don't fall for the man who gives them everything. They fall for the one who makes them earn it. Not the man who texts back in 5 seconds. The one who makes her wait and wonder. Not the man who puts everything on display. The one who moves with purpose, like the outcome was always his. This isn't about manipulation. It's about presence. And Machiavelli laid the blueprint centuries ago. You ever notice something strange? The men women chase aren't the ones bending over backward to please them. They're not texting paragraphs. They're not asking, did I do something wrong? They're not trying to be liked. In fact, sometimes they walk away without a word. And that's exactly when she starts to obsess. Attraction is not about effort, it's about energy. And the man who masters that energy doesn't chase, doesn't explain, but creates tension. In this video, you're going to learn 5 Machiavellian rules that flip everything you thought you knew about attraction. These aren't cheap tricks or corny pickup lines. These are psychological principles that elite men use, consciously or unconsciously, to shift power in their favor. But pay close attention, because one rule changes everything. The 4th rule. The moment you truly understand this rule and wield it with intent is the moment you become magnetic. So if you're tired of trying to prove your worth, if you're done with chasing, over-explaining, and hoping to be chosen, good. Because you're about to learn how to think like the man she can't stop thinking about. Rule 1. Control the frame, or be controlled. When she asks, so what are we? Most guys panic. They scramble for the right answer, trying to define everything, to lock it down. But here's the truth. The guy who gets it doesn't rush to explain himself. He controls the frame. This is the difference between a man in control and a man being led. The frame is everything. It's the invisible lens through which she sees you. And when you let her define the terms, you're no longer in the position of control, and control is what drives attraction. Machiavelli wasn't about playing by the rules. He was about shaping reality. He said, appear honest when it serves you, and that's the key. It's not about telling her what she wants to hear. It's about controlling what she thinks she wants. So when she hits you with what are we, you don't jump into a panic. You don't rush to fill in the blanks. You take control. Stay calm. Keep the upper hand. You respond with something like, that depends on how you show up. Or, I don't rush to define things. I prefer to see how things evolve. You're not just giving her an answer. You're giving her a challenge. You're creating space. You're making her lean in. And the longer she wonders, the more she desires to figure you out. Because here's the bottom line. If you can't control the frame, you're simply a background character in her story. Rule 2. Be elusive. Let mystery work for you. Imagine reading a novel. The best ones pull you in by keeping you hooked with mystery. You're hooked by the unanswered questions. You want to know what happens next, what the character's next move will be. The more mysterious the plot, the more you're dying to uncover it. Now picture a Wikipedia page. Every answer is laid out in black and white, every detail fully explained. It's clear, but it's also boring. You've got everything you need, but you don't feel the pull. That's the difference between being an open book and being elusive. You're not just feeding her all the answers, you're keeping her guessing. And the psychology behind that is powerful. It's called the Zeigarnik Effect. The human tendency to be obsessed with things left unfinished or unresolved. When things are left incomplete, your brain can't stop thinking about them. That's why you see someone across the room and wonder, what's their story? What's going on behind those eyes? The same principle applies here. You don't have to be a mystery man in some exaggerated sense. But when you keep her guessing, when you leave a bit of the puzzle unsolved, you trigger this deep psychological itch in her mind. She wants to know more, figure you out. How to do this? It's simple. Don't be too available. Don't spill everything at once, and don't always reveal your plans. Keep your next move close to the chest. You don't need to be mysterious 24/7, but be unpredictable enough to make her work for your attention. Because the truth is, she'll chase what she can't quite grasp. Rule 3. Subcommunicate value. Don't over-declare. Most guys make the fatal error of talking too much, explaining themselves, bragging, oversharing, hoping their words will build attraction. But that's not how desire works. Attraction isn't built through declarations. It's built through tension, through what's felt, not said. He enters the room, not loud, not boastful, calm, collected, controlled. Doesn't chase attention, yet the room shifts toward him. He's not performing. He's not selling himself. He's simply there, with quiet intensity and complete presence. No backstory, no pitch, just presence. That's the power of subcommunicated value. It's not what you say, it's what you signal without saying it. It's in the way you don't flinch, the way you listen with stillness, the way you don't need to be understood or liked or approved. That restraint is power. You're not trying to win her, you're making her wonder about you. And that wonder, that's the spark. Because curiosity is the breeding ground for obsession. Let the other guys talk themselves out of mystery. Let them explain, justify, overshare. You move different. You hold tension. You let silence do the heavy lifting. Because when you stop trying to be understood, she starts trying to understand you. And that's when the game flips. Because the less you say, the more she imagines, and imagination, my friend, is where real desire begins. Rule 4. Be willing to walk away. Let's get something clear. The moment you become afraid to walk away is the moment you lose all leverage, and she'll feel it. Not from what you say, but from what your energy screams underneath the surface. It shows in how quickly you reply, in how much you tolerate, in the way you over-explain, over-promise, overstay. Once she senses that fear of loss, game over. You're no longer a mystery. You're a man trying to keep her, not a man she's trying to win. But the man who's willing to walk away, he becomes unpredictable, intriguing, powerful. His identity doesn't collapse if she pulls away. He knows this. Neediness is repellent and detachment is magnetic. This doesn't mean apathy. It means emotional self-control. You feel the pull. You're invested. But if she crosses a line, or if the energy shifts, you don't beg, you don't explain, you don't chase. You step back. And that shift, that calm disconnection, it rewires how she sees you. That's not coldness. That's control. That's knowing that love without self-respect is just emotional servitude. And here's the twist. Walking away doesn't end attraction. It often ignites it. Because women don't chase the man who can't live without them. They chase the man who chooses them, but doesn't need them. That subtle difference? It's everything. So if you ever feel like you're losing ground, stop trying to hold on tighter. Instead, reclaim your center. And if needed, walk away. Because the man who can walk away without flinching is the one she can't forget. Rule 5. Make her earn your attention. Most guys show up trying to impress. They overtalk, overshare, overgive. But the real game, it flips the script. You're not chasing approval. You're the one evaluating. This isn't about playing cold or arrogant. It's about posture. Subtle shifts in the way you speak and respond can signal massive differences in value. You're not just reacting, you're observing. You're not rushing to please, you're curiously exploring. And this is where strategic questions come in. Not boring small talk, not robotic interview stuff. Ask her something like, what's something you've done that you're actually proud of, but never talk about? Suddenly she's searching for substance, digging for a story. She's not coasting, she's performing for you. These kinds of questions create a dynamic where she's subtly trying to impress you without even realizing it. The goal isn't to interrogate, but to tease out self-reflection, spark curiosity, and make you the one who's evaluating. You could also ask this when the vibe's right. What's one thing you'd do if you weren't afraid of failing? This one bypasses the surface level mask and taps something real. The crux here isn't just in what she answers, it's in how you respond. You don't rush to validate. You listen, let the silence do some work, and maybe just raise an eyebrow. She'll feel it. You're not the guy trying to be liked. You're the guy deciding who gets close. And the paradox? That's exactly what makes her want to get closer. Attraction is not about playing games or desperately seeking validation. It's about presence, the ability to command attention without ever needing to chase it. When you control your energy, when you master detachment, and when you become the man who's willing to walk away, the dynamic shifts. These 5 rules are not tricks, they're psychological principles that transform how women see you. The man who walks with purpose, who values his time, and who isn't afraid of silence becomes irresistible. By wielding these principles, you stop chasing and start being pursued. It's not about demanding attention. It's about becoming the kind of man whose presence commands it without a single word. And when that happens, she won't just want you, she'll crave you. You've learned the rules. Now it's time to apply them. If this shifted your perspective on attraction, drop a comment with which rule you'll master first. Hit subscribe for more insights into how to elevate your presence, and share this with someone who needs to understand that true power isn't about chasing, it's about control. Now, sit back and watch how the dynamic shifts when you start implementing these rules.